to be here. My name is Jamila Everett. I'm the Director of Admission at the Webb Schools in California in the U.S. I'm so happy to be here at Point Avenue to share some information about the Webb Schools. So for those of you looking for a really amazing boarding experience in the U.S., the Webb Schools could be a wonderful opportunity. This is actually a picture of our campus. We've been around for 100 years. We just celebrated our centennial. We just hired a new head of school, Dr. Teresa Smith, and she's incredible. She's an academic leader, and she's excited to bring in the next 100 years at Webb. So like I mentioned, we were founded in 1922 by Thompson and Vivian Webb. And the mission of Webb is to really inspire students to think boldly and creatively and mindfully, to act with moral courage and honor, to lead with distinction, and to really serve with a generous spirit. So it's these values that we see every day on campus with our students and our faculty and our staff, and it's something we also look for in the admission process for students. So as I mentioned, Webb is located in California. We are about 30 minutes from downtown Los Angeles, and we're in Southern California. We're in Los Angeles, which is the second largest city in the United States. And so it's a really vibrant place to be a boarding student. There's over 200 languages spoken in Los Angeles. It's home to the entertainment industry, to Disneyland, to Hollywood, to beautiful beaches and mountains. And so it's a really incredible place to be a student. And it's really nice for international families from Vietnam to get to Webb because we are located by 5 major international airports, all close to Webb. And so parents can come and visit, and it's very easy to get in and out to go back home and for all of our breaks and vacation. And so this map will show you a little bit more about our location and where we are. And as you can see, we're really in the hub of everything in California. So you'll see that we're really close to Disneyland, as you can see, to Huntington Beach, Santa Monica, the movie industry, so Hollywood, the mountains and the desert, NASA's JPL laboratory, the beautiful Getty Museum. So there's lots of opportunities for students while they're at Webb to really experience the wonderful, gorgeous landscape of Southern California. And there's so many beautiful outdoor activities for students to do. And you'll find that there's lots of weekend programs, which I'll talk about, where students really take advantage of that. We have many residents who have higher degrees, so it's a very well-educated community, and we are called the City of Trees and PhDs. And the reason that we're called that is that we have more trees per capita than any city in the U.S. It's very vibrant because we're located next to the Claremont colleges, so we're about a 5-minute drive to some really amazing national liberal arts schools that you may have heard of, Pomona College, Pitzer College, the Claremont McKenna College, Scripps College, Pitzer College, and they're all ranked in the top 50 liberal arts schools in the U.S. So on our campus at Webb, we have 400 students, and you'll see this is a picture of our dining hall. And in our dining hall, you'll see the flags on top of the ceiling, and those flags represent all of the countries that our alumni have, students who have graduated from Webb. So we're a very diverse international community at Webb. We have students from all over the world, and we have 21% international students. And so it's a really wonderful place to be a boarding student because we have such rich diversity. One of my favorite things about Webb is our belonging and inclusion environment. Our students at Webb, we want to honor everyone's unique background and their culture and where students come from. So we like to celebrate at Webb many different cultures and traditions at Webb. So these are some of the events that we've had in the past, like we've had an on-campus global cuisine food festival, we've had an Asian fashion show with traditional formal attire, and we've had a mariachi band to celebrate our Latin American students too. And so it's such a vibrant place to be able to express who you are at Webb and to make sure your culture and who you are is celebrated in the community. So at Webb, we have a highly academic program. We have a very small student body, very small student classes. We have a 6-to-1 student-faculty ratio. Our average class size is 12, and most of our faculty have advanced degrees. And so it's a really compelling place to be a student because you have such high academic environment. Now, one really big distinction of Webb is that we are the only high school in the world that has an accredited paleontology museum on the middle of our campus. And so it's this incredible Earth Science Center right in the middle of campus. And the Paleontology Museum, which is the study of ancient history and archaeology and dinosaurs, for those of you who like dinosaurs, it's really an exciting place. In the museum, we have 2 full-time paleontologists who work in the museum. We have over 200,000 specimens in our collections in the museum, and most of the fossils and specimens have been collected by Webb faculty, alumni, and students. So students are really involved in the original research and collection of in our museum. And many of our students publish papers, and so we have some students that are very excited about paleontology and get to do paleontology digs, and then also get to work side by side with leading scientists, and many get published in journals and leading journals from paleontology. So these are some pictures of our museum and some of our field research that students do. The first picture is a picture of our students in the museum in our evolutionary biology class. And so every student at Webb, even if you're not interested in paleontology, will actually take evolutionary biology. And as part of that 9th grade class, you will also have a unit on earth science and paleontology. And so it's really exciting to get to learn a little bit about that. We also send students out to do hands-on research in paleontology. So we have every student, when they come to Webb in their 9th grade year, they will go for a weekend trip, a camping trip with their friends into the California desert in Barstow, and it's for 3 days. They are camping with their friends and having fun, but they're also learning about professional paleontology and research. So it's really exciting, that second picture. And in the bottom picture is a picture of our fossil prep lab. So in the afternoon, some of our students decide to work in the museum, and they prepare and catalog and clean all of the fossils and get them ready for display in the museum or in our collection. So it's a really exciting program. And so for some students, so because of the museum, again, the museum is the Ray Alf Museum, our approach to learning is called the ALF method, which is really inspired by the wonderful research, original research that's happening at the museum. And the ALF method is our philosophy of education at Webb, and it really focuses on a really student-centered experience and project-based learning, and it's very multidisciplinary. So all of our classes really are not only multidisciplinary, but interdisciplinary, and really take lots of different subjects and fuse them together. And students are really encouraged to do field research, so taking advantage, like I mentioned, of being in such an amazing city as Los Angeles, we try to have many collaborative partnerships within Los Angeles, which really allows students to have really big engagement into subject areas that they're really passionate about. So it's very exciting. So some examples of this is just a quick list. We use Southern California as a learning laboratory. So we have partnerships that really give students opportunities to really learn at a deeper level. And it's really exciting, way beyond the classroom. So these are some examples of some of the places that we have had field studies. So for example, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, probably have all heard of the Mars rover landing and all the exciting things they're doing in space. And so students have an opportunity to work there. The same with the Huntington Library. That's a world-class art history museum in Southern California, where we have art historians from all over the world that come to that institution, and we have students who are interested in art history who will work there. So it's a very exciting opportunity to make sure that we're partnering with some of the leading organizations in California to give our students really hands-on experience. We also have academic partnerships. Because California is such a rich place with lots of universities nearby our campus, we want to make sure that our students can have partnerships with faculty members at those institutions. So for example, part of the UC system is UC Riverside, and so we have a collaboration with faculty and their biotechnology department, where students can take our advanced biotechnology course, and then they can go to UC Riverside and actually work alongside faculty members in the biotech labs. We also have, for students interested in medicine, we partner with the Keck Graduate Institute that has a really incredible drug discovery summer program where students are learning about medicine. And for those students interested in business and entrepreneurship, we have a partnership with Claremont McKenna College, again, a leading liberal arts school very close to us, where students that focuses on finance, and there's an entrepreneurship and business faculty member that we partner with, where students can do work with that faculty member. So how does this kind of show up in the classroom at Webb? Just to give you an example of some of the things that students are working on in terms of projects right now. For example, we have biology students that are looking at the ethics of cell ownership. We have humanities students kind of drawing posters and portraying immigration in the 1920s in Los Angeles. We have a Spanish language class where students are exploring global environmental challenges. We have an incredible math program at Webb where it's all integrated math, and students are tackling just a mix of geometry and algebra. Our math program is quite distinctive. We go all the way up to multivariable calculus and also have independent study in math as well. And one of my favorite classes is the Gothic fiction studies class, where students really learn the art of suspenseful storytelling. And we have a teacher who's really an expert in Gothic fiction. And so she makes that class really come alive by reading some really amazing fiction that is kind of scary too, but fun for students to learn the art of how do you tell a scary, suspenseful story. So our curriculum is focused on our 9th and 10th grade core curriculum, and then we have for 11th and 12th grade advanced studies courses. And so in 9th and 10th grade, our students really establish our really core foundational work, critical thinking, writing, analysis, to get them ready for advanced level courses in their 11th and 12th grade. And about 10 years ago, we redid our curriculum and redesigned our curriculum after Stanford's design lab thinking. And so our courses really go in depth and really get students involved and engaged in very creative work. So for example, for 9th and 10th grade, you'll see that students have their choice of humanities courses. We don't have just English or history. We have humanities. They're taking in 9th grade a fundamentals of composition and foundations of civilization class. Our science program in 9th and 10th grade, we do a whole year of evolutionary biology, which is an amazing survey course that goes into so many different parts of biology, like DNA research and, like I mentioned, paleontology. And then we do an integrated physics and chemistry class, and that's actually a picture of that class. For 11th and 12th grade, that's where, kind of like the university system in the US, and then 11th and 12th grade, you have a lot of freedom in your curriculum to take the courses that are exciting to you. So we have not just AP courses, which we have AP courses, but we also have honors, and then we have something called advanced studies classes, which are classes that our faculty have designed to be a little bit higher level than the AP courses. So you get the same credit for those AP classes because it's all accredited by the UC system, but it goes beyond just the standard AP curriculum. So it gives our faculty lots of freedom and our students lots of freedom to probe deeper into their knowledge. So we have students that can take lots and lots of classes in science and math and world language, and they get to choose their curriculum for 11th and 12th grade. So for some sample advanced studies courses, these are just a sample. We have many, many courses, but like I mentioned biotechnology already, we have a modern media class, we have organic chemistry. We're one of the few boarding schools in the US that has a organic chemistry class. Usually that's for college level students. We have a class on the Cold War era, war literature and art. This is a sample as a boarding student. I wanted to give everyone a sample of what our day looks like. As you know, all of you that are looking into boarding schools, it's really important that you have a full, really engaged day. And I really love our schedule at Webb to take advantage of everything that's happening at Webb. It's very intentional in terms of our approach to the day. So you take about 3 classes a day for 80 minutes. And then in between those classes, you have office hours with your teachers. You may have a chapel program where you hear a student give a really meaningful talk about something that's impacting them at Webb or advice they have for students. You also have flex time where you can, again, just come and talk to your teachers. Lunch, of course. We have great food in the dining hall. We have sushi day. We have steak night. We have lots of great Mexican food. We have a global station which changes each day with different food, a noodle bar, salad bar, grill, such amazing food. So if you like food, you're going to like Webb lunches. And then you have the afternoon activities from about 3 to 5 is when you pick, which we'll talk about, from about 30 different activities that you can choose from. And then in the evening, Monday through Thursday, you have evening study from about 7:30 to about 9 o'clock, where all the academic departments are around on campus and you can ask questions and work on homework and group projects. And so the block schedule, I think, is great because it gives students like lots of time to really focus in on one class or 3 classes a day instead of a traditional 6 classes a day in the high school schedule in the US. And so We also have a great advisory program. We know coming to boarding school is exciting, but also you'll be away from home, right? Coming all the way from Vietnam. So we have an advisory program where we have faculty that advise students, and about 6 to 8 students, and they really they meet really regularly. They go to dinner, they talk about maybe being homesick, they talk about the great things that are happening to them on campus, and it's really great. And we also have students that serve as peer advisors as well that really help students acclimate to Webb and get excited about all the programming and kind of navigate that for them. And then student life at Webb is very vibrant. I mentioned how we use Los Angeles, but we also have a lot of things on campus for students to do too. So we have lots of things that happen on campus, like this is a picture of something called Webb Day, where there's a challenge between each grade, and each grade will wear, from 9th to 12th, will be assigned a different color, and then the whole week they just do fun activities and they compete by grade level. And then these are our afternoon activities. So you can see we have lots of things for students to choose from. So, and it divides from fall, winter, spring. So for students interested in dance or debate or technical theater, sports, yearbook, digital storytelling, outdoor activities. So many things for students to do, divided up between usually academics and arts, athletics, and then community service. We have 15 different sports and also 42 different teams. So many students that come to Webb, there are some students who are very proficient in one sport and they come straight on our varsity, for example, golf team. But we do have some students who have never played a sport before or want to join multiple sports, and that's easy to do as well. So students can try out for teams when they first get to Webb, or they can talk with the coaches when they first come to Webb to find out which level makes sense for them to play. We have an extraordinary badminton team. Schools that we play, and we're very competitive in badminton, the same with water polo and swimming. The girls soccer team for 2 years in a row won a state championship in California. So it's really encouraged not just to stick with the sport that maybe you've done in middle school, but to try lots of different sports and surprise yourself. So some of our distinguishing kind of signature programs I wanted to talk about. So the first is debate. So we have an extraordinary debate program at Webb. We have a parliamentary debate competition program, and our debate club actually about 3 weeks ago just won first place in Los Angeles County for debates. We also have an extraordinary robotics program as well. So we field 2 robotics teams, VEX Robotics and FTC Robotics, where we have a robotics lab, and students are able to do several robotic competitions throughout the year. And we also have amazing performing arts. So students get to explore lots of their passions at Webb. We have a 55-piece string orchestra. We have a contemporary dance program. We also have a technical theater program. So the head of our technical theater program, he's a former Disney Imagineer. We also have chamber music and jazz ensembles. So lots for students that are interested in performing arts. We also have many clubs and organizations. Like many schools, you can come and create a club. These are examples of we have 70, I think this year, 76 different clubs that students can choose from. And our Board of Trustees actually gave students money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, for students to actually invest real money in the stock market and show students on how to invest. We also have a really distinct program at Webb called Unbounded Days, and this is a program unique to Webb where we participate in 3 to 5 days of these mini classes throughout LA. So we take the Webb philosophy of boldness and creativity and then go out into Los Angeles to really get involved in programs and academic adventures that maybe you would never even do while you're at Webb. For example, we did some students who wanted to explore nature, so they did a canoeing trip in the Colorado River, and that was really fun, and they talked about ecosystems. And we have students that did a marine biology program in Catalina Island, so that was really fun. We've had students go to Goldman Sachs to learn financing, the Joshua Tree in the desert to do art and yoga. So in terms of joining Webb and being on campus and living on campus, we have 10 dorms on campus, which is really great. And each dorm has its own culture and vibrancy. And it's, being at Webb, you're there as a student 24/7. You're in this amazing supportive community. This is like one of our dorms, Apple B, I believe, yes. And so you know, it's really an amazing place for students to really thrive in their dorms and have a roommate for the first time, which is really exciting. We have a dean of campus life, and his job is to create a fabulous weekend program. This is a group of students that this fall that went to Eaton Canyon, which is a beautiful hiking trail that's very close to Webb's campus. And we also have vans that take students out to the Target runs. Students like to go and shop for things in their dorm room, right? So when we think about once you've experienced Webb and all of the amazing programs at Webb, students will graduate. And, you know, if you think about what they become once they graduate from Webb, you know, it really does give students, after they finish Webb's programs, a sense of confidence and self-discipline. And we have really impressive college admission results as well. So this is a picture of our graduating class last year, and 100% of our class of 2023 were admitted to selective colleges and universities, and 90% are attending a college ranked in the top 10% in the U.S. And 91% were admitted to at least one of their top choices. And so we have a very competitive college advising program. We have a college advising team that's led by a really world-renowned college dean, Hector Martinez, and he's our Dean of College Guidance, and he's been at Webb for 25 plus years and has been written up in the Los Angeles Times and USA Today about college admissions and selectivity. And so this is just a quick graph that shows a distribution of, over the last 5 years, the top institutions that have enrolled at least 3 or more students of Webb graduates each year. UCLA, USC in California, Stanford, and then you see, Ivy League and larger universities. And then we have amazing alums at Webb too. So 4,600 alums at Webb. Currently 50 states represented, all in the U.S. and 43 different countries. We have a sustainability innovator, we have an entrepreneur and venture capitalist, we have a Superior Court judge who served under the Obama administration. So I just did want to share that their admission deadline. So for those of you interested in applying for this year, our deadline is January 15th. I would encourage you to go to our website and just go to webb.com.inquire to start an inquiry with us, and then we'll give you emails and updates on all of it. We look for that in the application, from your teacher recommendations, from your statements, from your interviews. And we do interviews online, so if you can't, obviously it's a far to come from Vietnam, so if you'd like to do an interview online, we do many interviews online, so you can sign up for that now if you're applying. But if you're coming to campus, we of course love to welcome you as well. And then for younger students who may be interested in experiencing Webb early, we do have a summer program. And so we have a 10-day program in July for students to come to Webb, and they are all Webb faculty members who teach in the program. And it really does give you a good taste of what Webb is like, because you live in our dorms and you do some of the field studies and programs that we do in our regular program. And so we have 5 different programs and tracks. So we have one in paleontology, science and engineering, digital arts, global change makers, and medical science. And it's really fun to kind of maybe get a sense if you like boarding life in California. For some of our international students, they may do 2 programs since you're coming a long way. So thank you so much for all of your attention and time. I want to end with one of my favorite pictures of campus. This is our soccer field and a sunset on our campus. And I'm really happy to stay in touch with anyone who has questions about Webb. We have many Vietnamese families that are at Webb now, and so they can share their experiences with you if you'd like to talk to someone about that experience. But if you also have just questions about student life or general admission process questions, you can also reach out to me. Online programming, so if you can't make it to campus, we do have online programs that you can sign up for, online webinars, and lots of recorded sessions on our website. So thank you so much for your time and attention today, and I really do hope to see you at the Webb Schools, and please do stay in contact with us to learn more.